Now, as the world faces warmer than usual winters, droughts and floods, agricultural industries must rapidly adapt to survive. Diversifying species, creating drought-resistant crops and sustainable practices are all part of the strategy being adopted by leaders in the plantation sector. Well, joining me now is the CEO of Europe at Asia Plantation Capital, Gary Crates. Gary, welcome to the programme. And your company has plantations and farming interests right around the world. So where are you seeing the impact most when it comes to climate change?
Primarily in the two countries we started operations in over a decade ago, Sri Lanka and Thailand. If you look at the picture behind me, this is one of our plantations in Thailand, where the trees should be 4 to 5 metres high by now. But as you can see, it's still very barren. Over the last 3 to 4 years, annual droughts have actually become the norm. Historically, droughts used to occur every few years in this part of Southeast Asia, and we allowed for this with reservoirs and deep boreholes and irrigation systems. Unfortunately, in the last 2 years, the droughts and subsequent flash floods have been catastrophic, and now multiple regions in Thailand have actually been declared as disaster zones.
And a huge impact, of course, on the livelihoods of local communities in those areas and also for your company. What does it mean for your ability to harvest crops and also for your profits?
Yes, certainly in Thailand, it's had a negative effect, and we've had to look at relocating some of the plantations where the trees that we lost are no longer viable to grow under these drought conditions. We're actively looking at Laos as an alternative, where we've identified much larger, mature plantations with good access to water, because the trees are particularly vulnerable in the first 3 to 4 years of growth. That's when they need a steady supply of water. So having well-irrigated mature trees allows us to harvest faster. However, the negative side is that there are hundreds of people in the north of Thailand that we've helped considerably over many years by creating these micro-rural economies that are now without work or income. Of course, we're trying to regenerate these plantations with drought-resistant crops, but this takes time and it could be another 1 or 2 years. Fortunately, as a business, we diversified and expanded into Malaysia in 2015, and the plantations and the business over there is still robust and doing very well.
And Gary, briefly, if you don't mind, are you concerned that the pandemic has shifted a focus away from a global effort to tackle climate change?
Yes, COVID-19 has certainly diverted attention from the climate change in the press, but in reality it's created many, many challenges alongside, very serious challenges. We've had to recalibrate our business and plan for further diversification, and we're now about to start operations in Brazil, which has it's over 12% of the world's natural water supply, so it's a logical choice for long-term corporate planning against global warming. Brazil obviously has serious COVID challenges too, and restricted travel has slowed our progress there, but we're on course to be operating there by the end of the year. We're actually diversifying into coconut plantations where global demand is growing strongly, and it gives us access to the US markets that we've not tapped into before. So as a company, we're very excited despite the challenges of climate change.
Thank you so much for joining us. Gary Crates there from Asia Plantation Capital.